For most of the 20th century, children around the world learned that our solar system contained 9 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Pluto was the smallest, the most distant, and perhaps the most mysterious member of the planetary family. It appeared in textbooks, science museums, educational posters, and countless classroom lessons. Then, almost overnight, everything changed. In 2006, Pluto lost its status as a planet and was officially reclassified as a dwarf planet. The decision shocked millions of people and sparked one of the biggest controversies in modern astronomy. But why exactly did scientists make this decision? Was Pluto unfairly demoted, or was there a scientific reason behind it? To understand what happened, we need to travel back to the beginning of Pluto's story. The story begins in 1930 when American astronomer Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto at the Lowell Observatory in Arizona. Astronomers had been searching for a mysterious object beyond Neptune that they believed was affecting the orbits of other planets through its gravity. Tombaugh carefully compared photographs of the night sky and spotted a tiny moving object. The discovery was celebrated worldwide. Pluto was quickly accepted as the 9th planet, and its name was chosen after the Roman god of the underworld. For decades, nobody questioned its place in the solar system because very little was known about it. As telescopes improved, astronomers began to realize that Pluto was unlike any other planet. It was incredibly small, much smaller than Earth's moon. Its orbit was also unusual. While the 8 major planets travel around the Sun in relatively circular paths, Pluto follows a highly elliptical orbit that sometimes brings it closer to the Sun than Neptune. Its orbit is also tilted compared to the other planets. These odd characteristics made scientists wonder whether Pluto truly belonged in the same category as the larger planets. For many years, however, Pluto remained a planet simply because there was nothing else quite like it. The solar system seemed neatly organized. 8 large planets occupied the inner and outer regions, and Pluto sat alone beyond Neptune. Scientists suspected that more objects might exist in that distant region, but they had not yet found enough evidence to challenge Pluto's status. That situation would eventually change thanks to advances in astronomy and increasingly powerful telescopes. In the 1990s, astronomers began discovering numerous icy objects beyond Neptune in a region now known as the Kuiper Belt. This vast area contains remnants left over from the formation of the solar system more than 4 billion years ago. Scientists quickly realized that Pluto was not alone. Instead, it appeared to be one member of an enormous population of frozen worlds orbiting far from the Sun. Every new discovery made Pluto seem less unique and more like part of a larger family of objects. The real turning point came in 2005 when astronomers discovered an object called Eris. Initially, Eris appeared to be slightly larger than Pluto and possessed a significant amount of mass. This created a major problem. If Pluto was considered a planet, then Eris should also qualify as one. But if Eris became a planet, astronomers expected many more similar discoveries in the future. The solar system could suddenly contain dozens or even hundreds of planets. Scientists needed a clear and consistent definition of what a planet actually was. Surprisingly, before 2006 there was no official scientific definition of a planet. People often assume that scientists have always known exactly what a planet is, but that was not the case. Historically, objects were classified largely through observation and tradition. As new discoveries blurred the boundaries between planets, asteroids, moons, and icy bodies, astronomers realized that they needed a formal definition that could be applied consistently throughout the solar system. That definition was created during a meeting of the International Astronomical Union, commonly known as the IAU, in Prague in 2006. After extensive debate, astronomers agreed that a planet must satisfy 3 conditions. First, it must orbit the Sun. Second, it must have enough mass for its own gravity to pull it into a nearly round shape. Third, it must have cleared its neighborhood around its orbit, meaning it must be gravitationally dominant and not share its orbital region with many similar-sized objects. Pluto easily met the first 2 requirements. It orbits the Sun and is round because of its own gravity. The problem was the third condition. Pluto had not cleared its neighborhood. It exists within the Kuiper Belt surrounded by countless other icy objects. Unlike Earth, Jupiter, or Neptune, Pluto does not dominate its orbital region. Instead, it shares space with many neighboring bodies that possess similar characteristics. Under the new definition, Pluto failed to qualify as a full-fledged planet. As a result, Pluto was placed into a newly created category known as dwarf planets. This classification includes objects that orbit the Sun and are round but have not cleared their orbital neighborhoods. Pluto joined other bodies such as Ceres, Haumea, Makemake, and Eris. Although many people viewed the change as a demotion, scientists saw it as a refinement of our understanding of the solar system rather than a punishment. The decision immediately generated public backlash. Many people had grown up learning about Pluto as the ninth planet and felt emotionally attached to it. Schools, museums, and media organizations suddenly had to update educational materials. Some scientists even disagreed with the IAU's definition. Critics argued that the requirement to clear an orbital neighborhood was problematic because many planetary characteristics depend on location. Others believed Pluto should remain a planet because it possesses a complex geology, atmosphere, moons, and many features traditionally associated with planets. Interestingly, Pluto turned out to be far more fascinating than many scientists expected. In 2015, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto and revealed a surprisingly active world. The images showed towering mountains made of water ice, vast plains of frozen nitrogen, atmospheric haze layers, and evidence of geological activity. Instead of being a frozen, lifeless rock, Pluto appeared to be a dynamic and complex world with a rich history. The mission reignited public interest and renewed debates about whether Pluto deserved to regain planetary status. Some planetary scientists continue to argue that the current definition should be revised. They suggest that an object's physical characteristics should matter more than its orbital environment. Under such definitions, Pluto could once again qualify as a planet. However, the official classification established by the International Astronomical Union remains in place today. As far as modern astronomy is concerned, Pluto is still classified as a dwarf planet. The Pluto controversy also highlights an important aspect of science itself. Scientific knowledge is not static. As new evidence emerges, scientists refine definitions and sometimes overturn long-held assumptions. The demotion of Pluto was not a mistake, but rather an example of science adapting to new discoveries. When astronomers learned that Pluto was part of a much larger population of similar objects, they were forced to rethink how planets should be defined. Today, the solar system officially contains 8 planets and several recognized dwarf planets. Pluto may no longer hold the title of the ninth planet, but it remains one of the most studied and beloved objects in our cosmic neighborhood. Its story continues to inspire curiosity, debate, and exploration. In many ways, losing its planetary status made Pluto more famous than ever before. So, was Pluto really demoted? Technically, yes. It no longer meets the official definition of a planet established in 2006. But scientifically, Pluto remains an extraordinary world that helped transform our understanding of the outer solar system. Whether you call it a planet or a dwarf planet, Pluto's importance has never diminished. Its journey from celebrated planet to controversial dwarf planet reminds us that the universe is often more complex and far more interesting than we first imagine.